Hello people and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going to be looking at Simone Inzaghi's tactics at Inter Milan. They're currently second in the Serie A, just 1 point behind AC Milan, and today we're going to be looking at their key principles and how to implement that into Football Manager. So before we get stuck into things, we are going to be playing a Champions League final in this video as well. We made it to the Champions League final, but I just wanted to play it with you guys, and that way hopefully we can see the tactic in full motion. So before we get stuck into things, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you like this video as well, leave a comment. All of that helps this channel grow, so it is very important. Also, if you are completely new to this channel, make sure you check out this app for OneFootball and download this fantastic footballing app. Let's get stuck into it. OneFootball have been amazing enough to sponsor this video, and what I need for you guys to do is check out the app. The link will be in the description. It's fairly easy to do. You can download it via the link or you can use the barcode on the screen. The app is a great footballing app. It's where you can check the latest statistics, the latest football news. You can also watch some live free games. Yes, you heard me right. You can watch free games live for free on the footballing app. It's my favorite place to keep up to date with the most recent football news. You can also find some fantastic analysis and match reports on the OneFootball app as well. If you're attempting to replicate tactics like I do on this channel, you can also use this app to grab the latest match stats and all of that good stuff. So make sure you check out the app. The link is in the description, but also you can use the barcode on the screen, and trust me, you will not regret downloading this app. So here is the tactic, but before we dive into it, let's have a look at the key principles and what exactly we're trying to implement. So far, Simone Inzaghi has preferred the 3-5-2 formation. Inter apply an aggressive man-to-man approach which helps them pressurizing the opposition and forcing them into losing the ball. They have an aggressive approach in terms of challenge intensity as they create 2 versus 1s and also 3 versus 1 situation surrounding the ball carrier, especially moving closer to their defensive third. They use Martinez and Barella's speed to counter, and the Argentine is often the player to utilize these chances. The wing-backs also perform well on the break, and the whole team doesn't necessarily counter all at the same time. So far, Inzaghi has used width in the build-up and in the attack. When building up through the sides, the players rely on linking up play as well as overlapping and making underlapping runs. Bastoni is the centre-back that moves into a more advanced position and supports ball progression with runs where he can combine with DeMarco, Perisic and Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Inter Milan build up with a back 3 or back 4, which includes the goalkeeper. The 3-man back line widens to allow the rest of the team to move in a more advanced position, and they have better coverage centrally to open up passing lanes and progress the ball. There's also lots of movements during the build-up. The team use a lot of movement in their build-up and play without clearly defined lines. Instead, each player moves up and down the pitch to open up passing lanes and provide a passing option. So that there is the key principles of Simone Inzaghi's Inter so far. Some of that information was analysed by Total Football Analysis, but now let's look into the tactic in Football Manager. So here is a tactic. It's a 3-5-2 or a 3-1-4-2, whichever you want to call it. This is the formation. So we're going to go through the team instructions, the player roles and their instructions, look at the statistics, and then play that all-important Champions League final. Yes, we made it to the Champions League final. So for this tactic, we are going to be using that attacking mentality, which focuses heavily on getting players forward and into space and allows them the creative freedom to express themselves. So that's the mentality that we're going to go with. The attacking width is set to wide, just so we can play the ball out wide, and that's how we can build up as well, creating those overloads and triangles out in the wider areas, which is only going to be helped with focused play down the left and focus down the right, just making sure that we increase the attacking intensity down those flanks. We're also going to be playing out from the back as well, try and utilize those 3 at the back, but also the deep line playmaker coming deep or dropping deep to collect the ball in helping us progress through defense to the attack. So that's really the only in possession instructions that we have. The passing directness is set to standard with the tempo set to slightly higher. So it's focusing on more direct football, getting the ball further forward quickly and getting those players further forward. In transition, when the possession has been lost, by default we are going to counter press. If you're trying to hold on to a win, then you can change this to regroup, where you will defend in a back 5, and when possession has been won, we can then counter. This instruction doesn't always need to be on. Like I said in the analysis, the whole team as one don't always counter-attack. Sometimes it could just be Barella and Martinez, sometimes it could be those two and the fullbacks as well, not necessarily the whole team. So when it comes to when possession has been won, this instruction doesn't need to be on, but by default, and making sure that we do have an instruction when it comes to transition, we are going to be using counter. For the Champions League final, this may be removed. When the goalkeeper's in possession, he will distribute the ball quickly and roll it out as well. For out of possession, we are going to be defending with a higher line of engagement, but with a standard defensive line. Inter doesn't necessarily press high, but they do press high enough to not allow the opposition just to play out from the back all willy-nilly. The defensive width is set to standard. We are going to be using tighter marking, but there is something that I want to try out in the Champions League final as well. I do want to try and remove this instruction, go to opposition instructions, and instead we might not want to type mark the very deep players, so like the central defenders and the fullbacks, because again, we aren't pressing that high. So maybe we can try that out for the Champions League final as well. The trigger press is set to more often. We are going to be preventing that short goalkeeper distribution, and for the tackling, we are going to be getting stuck in. So that wraps up the team instructions. For the player roles and their instructions, in goal we do have the sweeper keeper on the defensive duty, no added instructions. In central defence, the left wide centre back will be the wide centre back on the supportive duty. Bastoni is the more advanced centre back, so that is who we're trying to replicate on the left hand side. On the right hand side of the defence is the wide centre back again, but on the defensive duty. The one in the middle is the ball playing defender on the defensive duty. This can be changed to a central defender if you like, and the player in front of them, the holding midfielder, is a deep line playmaker on the defensive duty, replicating that Marcelo Brozovic role, and he's instructed to pass it shorter but also close down more, because with the defensive duty, naturally they are a little less aggressive out of possession. For the wing backs, we do have two wing backs on the supportive duty. Now, personally, I feel that Ivan Perisic is the more attacking one, but for some reason, when I did use the attacking duty on this side, it left us way too exposed in defence. So I felt that it was better just to have it on support, but ask him to cross from the byline and dribble more, whilst the right wing back doesn't have those added instructions. In central midfield, for the Hakan Çalhanoğlu role, I know I pronounced his name wrong there. For his role, we are going to be using a central midfielder, but ask him to take more risk. We do want him to be more creative, add that creative spark, but it just didn't work as well when using the advanced playmaker, which is the role that I went with first. And his midfield partner for that Barella role, we have gone for the Mazzala on attack and ask him to cross more often, which I feel is exactly what Barella does in those wider areas. Lastly, up top, we do have a deep line forward on the attacking duty, trying to replicate that Edin Dzeko role. Now, the reason why we are not using a target forward is simply because of the attacking duty and the fact that we are already playing more direct, getting the ball from defence to attack fairly quickly. Using a target forward, our players were aiming for him far too regularly than I liked, because we didn't want to become a very direct team which is lumping the ball forward to the target forward, which is why I'm using a deep line forward, and he does equally hold up the ball very well. He takes more risk, he moves into the channels, he drops deep, and it also links up play with his strike partner, the midfielders and the wing backs. And lastly, for this tactic, we do have an advanced forward role for that Lautaro Martinez role. He's just going to be that striker chasing down any loose balls, being a nuisance for the central defenders, and also being that main goal scorer. So that there wraps up the tactic, the Inter Milan tactic. We are now going to go into the results, check out how well this team did by league position but also data, and then we are going to be playing that Champions League final. So now let's look at the results and the data. So in the Serie A, we had a really good season regardless, but in the Serie A we played 38 games, we won 30, we drew 5, only losing 3. Our goal difference on +62 and a points tally on 95. Those all three losses came away from home. 3-1 away to Atalanta, 1-0 away to Fiorentina, and 1-0 away to Sassuolo. The top goal scorer for us was Lautaro Martinez, and the highest average rated player was Milan Skriniar, surprisingly. In the Champions League, we are in the final with Dortmund. Now that's a surprise that we're in the Champions League, but also Dortmund. That must have been a crazy Champions League. In the Coppa Italia Fanta, we won that. Who did we beat in the final? We beat Juve 1-0 in the final, and the Coca-Cola Super Cup, we won that, beating Juve again 2-1 in that final. So for the most goals in Serie A, which was Inter, we scored 81, most shots for, we came second. For the fewest shots against is in us, so we attacked very well, but we also defended very well. For the pass completion, Inter in 5th place with 90%, most possession, Inter 3rd with 55%, most tackles won, Inter 3rd with 652, most dribbles made, we aren't in the top 8, most clean sheets, Inter with 21, fewest conceded, Inter with 19. Now, for the top goal scorers, Lautaro Martinez on 21, also Carrera, who had a very decent season as well. For the most assists, we don't have anybody in the top 8. For the most shots, Edin Dzeko in 4th place. Most man of the match awards, Lautaro Martinez in 6th place. Most key passes, we have nobody. Oh, we do. We have Hakan in 8th place. Best pass completion, nobody in the top 8. Most tackles won, we have a few players, Ivan Perisic, Nico Barella and Denzel Dumfries. For the most dribbles made, nobody in that top 8. Most clean sheets, Samir Handanovic with 20. And for the fewest conceded, Samir Handanovic with 15. Now moving over to the data hub, we can check out the attacking efficiency. Inter, they were aggressive and clinical with their shooting. Defensively, we were quiet and impenetrable in defense. For our passing statistics, we made a lot of passes. We was also fairly accurate as well. So in possession, we were fairly decent. And for the possession, as we can see here as well, we frequently won the ball, but we were also reliable in possession. Looking at the defending statistics, our defending numbers warrant a closer look, it says anyway. We made fewer blocks and we made fewer clearances throughout the whole season, which suggests that we didn't have to do much defending at all. And looking at the shot map as well, we had a high number of clear-cut chances. However, our average shot quality is only okay. So it says that we should keep an eye out, as we may have been fortunate, but I doubt we were fortunate throughout the whole season. And lastly, before we go into that all-important Champions League final, we can also look at the schedule. We started out very well. We got a 1-1 draw away to Lazio, and in the Champions League, we also started very well. We beat Ludogorets 4-2 away before smashing Porto 5-1 at home. We beat or drew 2-2 away to Real Madrid before beating them at home as well. We did lose in the Champions League group away to Porto, but then we beat Ludogorets at home 2-1. As you can see here, we also beat Juve 4-0 at home in the Serie A. We managed to beat Milan 2-0 away from home. We beat Napoli away from home. It was all fairly decent at the start of the season, and then you can see when it got to the very busy period of the season, the results started to get a little bit more inconsistent. So we did lose 3-2 away to Real Madrid in the quarter-final on the first leg, but we then beat them 4-0 in the return leg. But that was after knocking out Manchester United. And then in the Champions League semi-final, we beat Barcelona 3-1 away from home before drawing 2-2 at home. And then we beat Juve, of course, in the final, which takes us now to the Champions League final against Dortmund. So as you can see, that game is 1 week away. So what we're going to do is basically just go on holiday to that next match, and then we're going to sort the team out, play the game, and hopefully we lift that Champions League medal. And also hopefully we get to see the tactic in full motion. So now let's skip to that Champions League final day. So here we are, Champions League final day. Let's sort out the tactic. And by the way, if you do kind of enjoy those Let's Play videos, I do have a Let's Play started. It's with Woking, trying to get them from the league to the Champions League. So make sure you check that out on the YouTube channel. So this is the squad that we're going to go with. And this was basically my favourite or best squad throughout the whole season as well. So Handanovic in goal, Bastoni, De Vrij, Skriniar at the back, Brozovic as the holding midfielder, Perisic on the left, Matteo Darmian as the right wing back, Hakan as the central midfielder, Barella as the Mazzala, Dzeko as the deep line forward, Lautaro Martinez as that advanced forward. So now let's get stuck in to that Champions League final. And for the team talk, we're just going to tell them have fun and enjoy the game. But also with the opposition instructions as well, this is what we're going to try out. So we've removed use tighter marking, and we've basically just left the defenders alone, and we are going to be tighter marking from basically central midfield to their attack. So that's the team, that's the tactics all planned and set. Let's get the game rocking. 5 minutes in, no highlights, no shot. Oh, there's the first shot, and that goes to Dortmund. And we have an injury, Ivan Perisic. Now that is a key player. Oh, that's a big injury. So we're gonna bring on, I don't know what to do. He doesn't really have the pace, but neither does Kolarov. So we're stuck in a little bit of trouble here. We are seeing most of the ball. Inter Milan does have 57% of the possession, but really, there's no highlights. Absolutely no highlights. I mean, some very limited chances for both teams, but here is the first chance, and it may go to Inter Milan. Brozovic, Nico Barella, he's finished it. Nico Barella, Inter Milan 1-0 up in the UEFA Champions League final. Come on, boys. It was from a set piece, basically. Kolarov to Bastoni. He plays it in the middle to Brozovic, the playmaker. He plays a nice ball to Nico Barella, breaking through in those channels. Exactly what the Mazzala does. Gets further forward into the box, buries it. 1-0 to Inter Milan. It looks like we are defending fairly well. Maybe we can go to extended highlights so we can see more of the game, because we've just seen one highlight, which has been a goal to us. But they are looking like they are having fun out there. We are going to try and get more out of the team. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a highlight right away, and we are going to change this to extended. Try and see more of the tactic, basically. Let's hope it's not an attack for them. Oh, Haaland breaks through, and he misses. He should be scoring that. Haaland is earning a lot of money. He should be burying that. They've changed their tactic as well. They have changed their tactic, which means we might have to change our oppositional instructions. But Lautaro Martinez breaks down the channel. He's out wide. He looks to cross it, but it goes to Matteo Darmian. What's he going to do? We do have Edin Dzeko in the box. We should be looking to utilize him in that sort of area there. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Lautaro, Edin Dzeko, Nico Barella. Nice football here. Milan Skriniar. Darmian into the box. Martinez. That's gone comfortably wide though, but that was nice play by Inter Milan. Again, using that width. We are using that width to our advantage, or effectively. Mohamed Dahoud, Mats Hummels, Jude Bellingham. This is nice little play by Dortmund here. Breaks through to Wagyu. We should be looking to close him. Haaland heads it over the box. We should be looking to close him there. You got to get closer there. And that might be because of our oppositional instructions. So again, let's check this out because it could have changed. Let's get those wing backs, make sure they are being marked tighter. And it looks like we are good to go. Handanovic, Bastoni, he clears it long and we lose the ball. Marco Reus into the box, Emre Can. Haaland again, and with another header. It looks like they are using the wider areas as well, getting the ball into the box, and they are winning a lot of headers. Marcelo Brozovic, Kolarov, Nico Barella. That was a nice tackle by Dahoud, but it falls to Darmian. Milan Skriniar, back to Handanovic. He can play it out to Bastoni. Nice. Back to the wide areas. Kolarov, Lautaro Martinez. That's nice football there, boys. Lautaro Martinez, was he going to Edin Dzeko? Nico Barella. It's blocked. And it was offside anyway. So nice football again, looking to utilize those wider areas. And you notice that Bastoni as well, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, they all slightly drifted over to the left, creating a little overload on the left, but we didn't really utilize it very well. We could have taken advantage of that little overload that we created. Edin Dzeko, it's 2! But it looks off. The defenders are appealing. It looked off to me. And I think it's off because his name hasn't appeared at the left side here on the score sheet. It's checking. It's goal. It's been awarded. It's 2-0. Edin Dzeko. Kolarov with the assist. Using that, I don't know, throw-in, I guess. It's Edin Dzeko in the Champions League final. Dortmund, according to the statistics, have been the better side. Well, if you count that shots have been the better side, then basically they've been the better side. But I don't necessarily believe that. We've seen some of their chances. They've just crossed the ball into the box, hoping Haaland wins that header. And that has basically been their tactic so far. But here's Haaland on the ball. Nico Schultz. Bastoni comfortably wins that, but it falls to Wagyu. Disappointing header out of the box there. Drives down the byline. Bellingham. Close him down. Don't let him shoot. Nice block. So the XG slightly favours Borussia Dortmund, but from the chances that we've seen, I feel that we've had the better chance, bar that Haaland one-on-one that he kicked it wide. Of course, it was slightly on his weaker foot, but still, with someone of Haaland's quality, you expect. But and it's Lautaro Martinez, and it's free. But is this one disallowed? Is this one disallowed? No, it's not. It's goal awarded again from a throw-in. Again, using that right-hand side, or the flanks, I should say. A nice little overload, and this time we are using it well. And it allows us to have time on space on the ball to get that ball into the box. Lautaro Martinez with a header. So it is 3-0 in the Champions League final. I mean, some will say that we have been fortunate. I say this has been a masterclass. There's a late chance for maybe Dortmund. Gets the ball into the box. Skriniar heads the ball out. We have done well defending in our own box. Here's Stark on the ball. Brandt now. Bellingham. Marco Reus. We win the ball here. And that is it. Inter Milan have won the quadruple if we are counting the Super Cuppa. But Inter Milan have technically won the quadruple. Or the treble. We've won the league, we've won the Champions League, and we've won the Italian Cup as well as the Super Cup. And there we are, Simone Inzaghi's 3-5-2. It's an absolute masterclass on Football Manager. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are subscribed if you aren't just yet. Make sure you like this video and make sure you leave a comment as well. I'll speak to you guys soon. Stay safe and peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day.